What's up everyone, and welcome back to another episode of A Very Erika Christmas. Today I have a very special video in store for you guys today. It is another collaboration with my bestie Sariea over at DreamItDeOcampo. Seems like Vlogmas is pretty much just collabs between Sariea and I. It's fine. We are going to be doing 3 crafts from my understanding. So The Grinch is Sariea's favorite movie, specifically the Jim Carrey one, but she is a lover of all things Grinch. Mine is kind of a toss-up between Home Alone and Mickey's Once Upon a Christmas. So we kind of did like The Grinch, Home Alone, and Disney. Like we're not doing it specifically to Mickey's Once Upon a Christmas, but just like a Disney related item. So of course you guys know that I am a huge fan of my Cricut Explorer Air 2, so I did use and abuse that in this tutorial or in this video. But I will say I have one craft, and it is the Grinch related craft that I did not use my Cricut at all, which is kind of big news for me. I feel like because I use my Cricut, I feel like I get like less credit, like I'm not as crafty because I use my Cricut. So when I don't use my Cricut, I feel a little bit more like, well, look, I crafted. I am very proud of it. I hope that you guys enjoy it. I tend to go on and on and on. So to keep you from that, just a friendly reminder to please head over to Sariea's channel once you're through here and let her know that I sent you and say, Erika says hi. And are you proud of her? Is she doing a great job? Is she like the craftiest, makeupiest, mommiest DIYer ever? You bet. All right, without further ado, let's get on into these tutorials. The first craft I'm going to be showing you all is this Home Alone inspired shirt. I did see something similar. I think it was either on Pinterest or Etsy, but I am going to be putting my own spin on it. So this little template of the actual Home Alone house I received, or I just grabbed it off of Pinterest and I imported into Cricut Design Space. So the lettering that I wanted was going to say McAllister's Home Security. So here I'm putting McAllister's above the house, and I used the curve function to kind of just round it over the house. If this is by chance your first Cricut tutorial you're seeing of mine, please know that I have everything listed in the description box for you, including the fonts that I use. This one, for some reason, I didn't love the huge spacing between home and security and the little established and 1990, which of course I'm putting 1990 because that's when the movie came out. And then I decided to put You're Never Home Alone. So I changed this font into this brushed script font, I believe it's called. Again, I will have everything listed in the description box, but I really liked the way that looked. So I tried to play around with changing the font for the McAllisters. That's what you're seeing here. I didn't really like it, so I went back to this little, it's called Apple something, but I'm totally butchering the names, you guys. So again, they will all be listed in the description box, so you don't take my word for it. But here I'm just resizing everything. And here is when I will kind of ungroup these 2 items and space them closer together. I just didn't love how far apart they were. It seemed kind of like unnatural to me, or it just didn't flow well. I ended up spacing home and security back to kind of the way that it was because I wanted to add a little lock in the center. So Cricut Design Space didn't have one that I wanted, so here I just Google imaged a lock and I am uploading the design into Cricut Design Space, and it's super easy, you guys. This is something that's amazing about the Cricut and Cricut Design Space. It's so versatile and you can really, like, the sky's the limit with what you can do. So here I just took the little image that I made with the lock and I'm just making sure that it is centered before I group this together. And then I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing to establish in 1999, ungroup, move them closer together, regroup, make sure they're centered. And after that, I am just going to make sure the entire image is aligned properly. So all I do is highlight the entire thing, click center horizontally, and that should do the trick. So I decided I wanted the house to be red and I wanted the little window to be yellow, just like, you know, the cover of the movie. And since the image of the house that I took off of Pinterest has a little cutout for the window. I wanted to make sure that I have one that's yellow. So all I did was I went to the shapes function, sized it accordingly, and changed the color to yellow. So again, I am resizing the entire thing to match what I want it to be on the shirt. I think I decided to go with 9x7 approximately, give or take. If you guys have seen a couple of my Cricut tutorials, you will see that when I'm layering heat transfer vinyl, this is a trick I like to do. So since all of this text is going to be black, I highlight this and I will go down to the bottom and click weld. This is going to ensure that this is going to print out on the Cricut exactly like how it looks. It won't be all smushed together. It's going to have that exact space as you're seeing here. See how it's exactly like how it was in Design Space? That's what we want. So once that is all good to go, I am going to make sure I'm clicking the mirror function and we are cutting and weeding our vinyl. Now, once all of my vinyl has been weeded, I am moving on to my shirt. So I first like to hit it with a lint roller, and then you guys have also seen this trick. I fold my shirt in half and I run my heat press over it. It'll create this nice little center right down it'll create a line right down the center, and I fold the transfer paper down the middle as well. It's just a nice little trick to ensure that your design is even, I guess. So I am going to heat this for 30 seconds at 330 degrees. And this is I think it's like a heat peel vinyl. So even though it's still super hot, I peel it off the moment it is done. And you know me, I'm just doing one layer at a time. I did all of the lettering first, then the house, then the yellow window, and then I will go over it one more time just to ensure that it's nice and adhered, and that is our Home Alone t-shirt. Moving on to what is probably the cutest craft that I did, we are moving on to these adorable Mickey Santa pillows, or pillowcases, I guess. So I'm deciding to go with, it's a Jolly Holiday with Mickey. So for, it's with Mickey, I went with the text Cricut Sans. And for Jolly Holiday, I decided to go with Buttercup Sans, I think. Moving along, I'm doing the same thing that you guys see me do time and time again. I'm going to ungroup the more script or cursive phrasing, and I will scoot them closer together, and once it's to my liking, I will go ahead and highlight the entire thing and click weld. Seeing that the pillowcases were cream, I decided to go with black and red for the phrasing, and then Mickey will have a little dash of green with him. So I thought that this color combination was perfect. So moving on from here, I'm just resizing everything. I wanted Jolly Holiday to be kind of overlaying the black script. So that is kind of what I'm doing here. You'll see me just go back and forth a little bit with the sizing and the placement of the phrase. Then I'm going to go ahead and highlight the entire thing and just align it again, center it horizontally. And next I am moving on to my Santa Mickey. So this is something that I purchased from Etsy. I think I paid under $4 for the design of Santa Mickey. It's well worth it. I've already used this design 3 times this season, and obviously I'll have it forever. So I personally think it's worth it. I will leave you guys the link if you're interested. So here I'm kind of moving the Mickey around as to where I'm gonna want him, just to get an idea. Of course, nothing is permanent just yet. So here I'm just gonna resize it. I think the size of the design that I decided to go with was 10.5 by maybe 8.5 for the design that I was gonna put on the pillowcase. So once I'm happy with the size, it's time to move on to the layers of Mickey himself. I wanted to note that it is important to get the correct sizing done first before you move any further with all of the layerings. It's just gonna make your life so much easier to just work with one layer now versus attaching everything and then moving it piece by piece. I hope that makes sense. So just like the McAllister t-shirt, how I was trying to explain to you guys that I work in layers, I'm doing the same thing here. So the little eyeballs that you guys see on the right that I'm clicking through, I'm hiding each specific colored layer. So if you can see here, I'm highlighting this color and it's just the little red berries of his hat, and I will click weld. I'm doing this so that they will all be attached in the way that they're laying now. It won't be you know, clumped together to save room on the mat or anything like that. It's just way more convenient. So I'm going to speed through this, but just know that's kind of what I'm doing here. I'm going each color by color and welding them exactly how they are. So when we go to cut them on the Cricut sheet, they aren't displayed differently. We want them to be exactly like how we see them here. So now that I have each color welded accordingly, I am, you know, unhiding each layer, and you can see Mickey's coming together nicely. The last thing I forgot to do is weld together the black script. So that's what I'm doing along with the red Jolly Holiday. So from here we are clicking Make It and we are ready to cut. So as you can see, each design is on its corresponding, you know, color sheet of paper, heat transfer vinyl. So please don't forget to click your mirror on function, because since it is heat transfer vinyl, shiny side down, everything will be reversed. So now it's time to weed all of these layers. So this does take a significant amount of time, but I enjoy it. So I don't know if you guys are the same as me. I love weeding vinyl. It's so satisfying. So again, I'm doing the same thing that I did for the t-shirt. I'm first lint rolling it, and then I'm going to iron it out. And here I'm just kind of getting an idea as to how I want the design to be on the pillow. And same setting as the shirt, I'm doing 330 degrees for 30 seconds. So it's a lot of layering, especially when it comes to Mickey. Mickey is going to take a ton of layering. So here I'm first doing the black outline, then I am doing the white overlay. Next, I am moving on to all of the red accents. You don't want to layer any kind of transfer tape. So here you can see I did the hat and his little coat, and then I'm doing the green on the hat, and then I'm doing the berries. It really takes a lot of time, but trust me, you guys, it's so well worth it. And here is what the final result looked like. Here is what it looks like on my couch. Here is another design that I did work on. Obviously, I did not put this tutorial in this video, but maybe next year. There's always next year. Honestly, you guys, these pillows bring me so much joy. I love the way they look on my couch, and I'm obsessed. Moving on to the craft of all crafts. Okay, maybe not, but at least for this video, here is my very DIY Grinch hand. So you guys, this tutorial literally calls for a latex glove, and I straight up jacked my daughter's Play-Doh, okay? Don't worry, it's old, it's pretty much dried out. Not really, I'm just trying to make myself feel better. But here I'm taking Play-Doh and I'm stuffing the thumb, the index, and the middle finger, and then I'm bringing it up a little bit just to make sure that everything's attached. Once I have it filled in nicely in the fingertips, I'm kind of molding the fingers so it looks like the fingers are pinching, holding the ornament. I'm just trying to give you guys an idea and really see if it's what I like. Then I'm cutting off the excess parts of the glove and just gluing it together. I will say, obviously, you guys are probably watching this like, Erica, the latex is gonna like melt, and it kind of did, but you know, I did what I did, worked out. A feather duster was harmed in the making of this video, but it's going to be okay. He will be fine. He's got his other legs, it's okay. So here I'm pinching together the fingertips. You guys will see that the middle finger comes apart from the index finger later on, like the glue just didn't hold. So I did have to end up like gluing the index finger to the thumb and the index finger to the middle finger once the fur was already on there. So I did cut off this feather duster because, you know, I'm improvising, I'm working with what I have, but it worked perfectly. It was a huge pain in the butt. It did give me some PTSD from my Freddie Mercury tutorial with that crepe hair, but it, you know, I got burned plenty of times with the hot glue. It was a lot of trial and error. Here, this little pink tool that I'm using is a little weeding tool that I got from the Dollar Tree. It's the opposite end of it, so I'm using it instead of my fingers to kind of lay the hair down so I don't burn myself. And I'm just messing with the Play-Doh over and over just to make sure that it's keeping its form. So next, I'm taking some red felt and I am going to do Santa's little sleeve for his Grinch hand. This little white fur I picked up from Hobby Lobby. Also, I would recommend getting like boa feathers or something for the Grinch hand as opposed to the feather duster, but you know, I did what I had to do. The last thing I'm gonna do is take this single ornament and glue it right in between his thumb and his index finger, of course, to look like he's holding the ornament. And that is really it. I did kind of move this around here so you can see the space in between his thumb and his index finger. And once I placed him on my tree, this is what it looks like. I thought it was a perfect opportunity. We haven't decorated our tree yet, so I am kind of alluding to the fact that the Grinch has went ahead and taken all of our decorations off of the tree and is taking the last single ornament. All right, you guys, so that is going to do it for my Grinch, Home Alone, and Disney DIY Christmas decor wearable today. I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video. I wanted to keep it pretty simple and things that you guys at home would definitely be able to do. Yes, a duster was harmed in the making of this video, but just like 1/6 of it, okay? He can manage without one of his little arms. Everything is gonna be fine. For now, I want to thank you for taking time out of your day to watch this video, and I hope to see you back tomorrow for another episode of A Very Erika Christmas. Bye!